And we are back.
Okay.
Here we go.
So going back to the story, it's on MSR Bug, main supply route Bug, and this route is where the highest ranking officer has been killed. So you can
American?
Look that, yeah, American.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So highest ranking officer.
So people are pissed.
Yeah. It's a 500-pound bomb. Got called in. They shot, and they were shooting guys that were in the riverbed. And these guys had been waiting because they found chicken. They were next to the command wire. And so anyways, I radio back, hey, Gunny Luther, it's a 500-pound bomb. And, like I said, I was a pretty big dude. And Luther radios back to the radio operator and goes, how does he know it's a 500-pound bomb? And I'm like, because if it would have been a 250, I would have jogged it back. Like I would have put it on my shoulder and walked it back. So they come down, we get it out of the ravine where it was at. And, we take it back to base and everybody, it was like a parade.
Yeah.
And it was so weird, man. Like I avoided everybody. Like, where's Pulido? They wanted to celebrate it, da-da-da-da. And I just kind of went in the shower, went in the, walked around and kind of like,
yeah,
that could have killed me.
Big game.
Yeah.
Big game.
Yeah. Big game. And so then, after that, I'll tell you about my last IED.
What would they be using a 500-pound bomb for? Are they trying to
probably for a big tank or Amtrak,
something big coming
or a
by.
convoy, big convoy.
And the guys with it, was this a cell phone one?
No, it was a command wire.
So they have a wire.
Yeah, and it was on another device too. Gee. Yeah, pressure.
And so the guys who are holding the detonator are how far away?
Probably like 300 yards away.
And they're watching you?
Yeah, they're watching everything.
They're watching you.
Oh, and they have people everywhere. There's like liquor stores. I mean, it's not like
it's like the mafia in New York back in the day.
Right.
Right. So there's eyes everywhere. Everybody's communicating.
Right.
You are we are the foreign enemy.
Right.
I mean, in all honesty, and they're home.
Yeah.
And so they know everybody. They know all their cousins. Everybody's around. Right.
Right.
And so when you walk up to this thing, they could have at any point just looked over the hill and be like, well, let's get rid of them.
Yeah.
And hit the button and go for a run. Why didn't they do that?
Because the infantry guys shot the guy.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
dark turn.
But there was still another command type device on it. So we have jammers too. We have the technology, but it doesn't always hit that freak, right? Like if you're not on that frequency and they have something else, it's like spy versus spy.
They're all just building redundancies, and as soon as they know that you can learn to beat that, they're going to go to next thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like anything, pickleball or whatever.
Build a better mousetrap.
Yeah. Better trap.
Real.
So, but going back, the last IED, I remember it because it was the same problem that I had rendered safe and prosecuted at EOD school in IEDs.
No kidding.
Exact same setup. And I was like,
I know this one.
And so, I came back and then I came back to the Valley and I got out.
Yeah. I remember when you came back. You were jacked.
So I came back and went to school, went to Santa Barbara City College and started helping my dad out. And I worked for my dad for a while and was going to school. I met my wife at the Maverick, and so if you're single and you're looking,
the one,
me and everybody else, and so I met Kelly, and we started a family, and I remember we got married, and like 2 days later, or maybe the next day, I was living on a trailer on my parents' property, a 30-foot trailer, and I got a phone call from Ariel, Elias, and the guy that told me to go to EOD school with him. And he goes, hey, man, they're looking for guys. And I was like, okay. So I went and worked for the federal government and got a job.
Yeah.
Went to the first interview. They loved it. They took me. I was working in San Jose.
They're like, can you do this job? You're like, I can do this
do
job.
it. Yeah. And so then I did some work there in San Jose. And then I transferred to Santa Barbara. I had an office, and I operated from Oxnard to San Luis Obispo. So I had all the airports, all the Greyhound, anything I did with transportations, I'd give IED briefs to. I did all the X-ray recognition for TSA. Did explosive classes for them. Taught them like all, when you remember, when they used to swipe your bag.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, "Oh, there's TNT in here," and they're like, "No, I don't think so." But
I'm actually one of the people that I was shooting the day before, like just normal stuff in the valley, like shotguns and stuff like that, and went through the next day, and they swiped my bag, and they're like, "Burn!" And then I'm like, "Oh no!"
Yeah,
they're like, What do you have in here?" I'm like, "Nothing. I got nothing in here." And they're like, "Well, this thing went off, so we're pulling you aside," and just scrubbing everything, and put my hand. They're like, "What have you been doing?" "Oh, I shot a gun yesterday," and you should have saw the look on the person's face, like that was the craziest thing that they had literally ever heard.
Yeah,
I'm like, "Yeah, I shot a gun."
Well, you probably like for black powder or something like that.
I don't know.
Yeah. So the alarms, so I would teach them what the alarm was alarming on, what it looked like.
Okay.
Right. So, you get.
Were you teaching them what to look for when bags were going through like X-ray machines and things like that?
Yeah. So X-ray recognition, I really can't go too far into it because, you don't want to.
Yeah.
And
you're the reason we have to take off our shoes, isn't it?
No, you don't anymore. I just went to Mexico. You don't have to
really?
take your shoes off anymore. It's pretty
That's
great.
new.
Yeah. That was a shoe bomber.
Yeah. One guy who failed 20 years ago, we still have to take our shoes off for that dude.
Yeah, that was an interesting device too. I didn't think it was going to work, but it is what it is. I'm not the Intel community, and so I did that. I did that for a long time, and then I got into real estate.
Yeah.
My sister was married to Rene Martinez, so a little shout out to him. He's a mortgage guy, and we went to the grocery store together. And he goes, "Dude, you know everybody." We couldn't get out of the grocery store. Like it's a small town. Everybody.
Which
knows.
one?
Probably El Rancho.
So we had Alfred in here from El Rancho telling the story about El Rancho the other day, and he calls it a 2-hour store.
Yes.
Like you walk in, and you're just going to talk to everybody in every row for 2 hours. It's one of my favorite parts about living in this valley. I love it.
Yeah.
If you're lonely, go to El Rancho. You won't be lonely much longer.
Right. For sure.
Yeah. It's great.
And so, he's like, "Oh, you know everybody. You should be a real estate agent." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." And I'm still working with the federal government. And he goes, "I'm going to sign you up for your real estate license." And I'm like, "Whatever." And he goes, "Give me your credit card." So, I give him my credit card. And he takes it and fills it out.
Yeah.
And I get this email saying, like, if you don't complete this,
you're out.
You're going to lose your $300 deposit or whatever. And I'm like, "Oh no, I'm not missing out on $300. I'm so competitive." I'm like, "No way." So I start doing it. I get it done. I pass my test on the first try. Renee is just dumbfounded. Like, how'd you pass it? I'm like, "What do you think I'm dumb?" Like, and so I passed it, and I started working for Los Olivos real estate company, Bill Etling.
Yeah.
And he gave me my first start, and did great. I remember my first deal I sold to my sister-in-law in Tracy.
Yeah.
And I got an airplane out of the San Ynez airport, and I flew from Tracy
Pretty cool.
or from San Ynez to Tracy.
Yeah.
And they picked me up and like, "Wow, you're like Hollywood." And
I
I'm
know.
like, "Oh, if every
what
deal
a big
could
deal.
I was like, if every deal's gonna be like this is pretty awesome. And it never was, right? Like, but that was my first deal, and Renee and I flew to Tracy, and we helped him out. And then I came back. I'd been doing real estate, doing really well, and I had a few other things happen. Nothing bad, but opportunities. Mm-hmm. And I stayed in the explosive world. I helped a friend of mine who's a chemist who does explosives for a lot of 3-letter agencies. And we would go and, make IEDs and make explosives from scratch. So I still got to do a lot of that. And then I worked from other UXO companies where they would need people that, had my experience and to do remote work, like here on Vandenberg Air Force Base. So like, if that opportunity arose, I'd never say no. Like I always say yes.
Yeah.
I always say yes. And it got me a lot of great deals. And then I worked for a contractor, all while doing real estate.
Yeah.
Like I would just be like, "Okay, I'm not gonna be here for 3 days. Where are you going? Puerto Rico. Oh, that's crazy.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. Or I'm going to Bonner's Ferry, or I'm Oroville, like up in Washington area. And Idaho. And got to do a lot of cool 3-letter agencies there. Mm-hmm. And real estate started getting really good. So I just kept with it, and here I am today. And
I love the fact that, like, I've known you a long time now, and when I see you wearing a collared shirt, right, and selling somebody's house, in the back of my mind, I just always want to say, does that person have any idea the absolute psycho?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that in a bad way.
Right.
I'm saying that in a very positive way.
Right.
Like people are real nervous about their first, home buy or their second one or whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
And you're calm as cucumber because it's like, this is not the most stressful thing I have ever done in my life.
Right.
Right. It's like
no one's dying today.
No one's dying today.
Yeah.
Right. And to see your transformation from what you were doing before to my old mannered real estate agent
Right.
is absolutely awesome to me. Like, everybody in this valley has got some weird story, some backstory of like, oh, I used to do this, or some guy is like, I invented the MP3,
Right.
and they live in the valley, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, I did that. And you're like, what are you talking about? Another guy, invented the paint that went on the space shuttle.
Oh.
I mean, this whole valley is full of somebody with some weird first act story.
Right.
That you're like, what? Tell me more. I just thought you were the guy I ran into at the grocery store.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, like, you know who that is? Kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And you're one of those people.
Yeah.
Right. Like, me and you are just chatting outside El Rancho or something, and somebody walks up and says something to me. I'm like, dude, do not screw with that guy ever.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a mild-mannered guy, and
Yeah.
but yeah, the valley's got a lot of great people, and the real estate. I've served my country, served the community, I've served the county, and I love to serve people. And I always say yes. I'm gonna get it done, and I do. And
that is 100. Like, if you say yes, I'm going to do something, it's done.
Yeah.
Like, consider it done. Move on with your day.
Yeah. And I remember
What a great realtor to have, in all honesty, because you're like, no, we're gonna fix this.
Yeah.
And if you would say that to me and be my realtor, I'm like, oh, it's fixed. We're done.
Yeah.
Good. Keep moving.
Yeah, and I remember, I think it was my second deal I did for somebody here in the valley, and it had like 16 liens on it.
Jeez.
I was like, how do you fix this? It was like,
That's a lot of wires.
yeah, it was a lot of wires.
Lot of
and I
wires.
had to talk to the IRS, and I'm talking to this guy and that guy, and it was, but no one's dying,
Right,
and the job's going to get done.
Yep.
And that's what I pride myself on, that, whatever needs to get done to make the sale or to get it prepared,
Yep.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And, but going back to El Rancho, sorry.
Yeah. No, please.
So,
We got a whole second show now.
yeah, I got a whole
let's
second
go.
show. My dad, he told me about El Rancho when he, back in the 70s,
Yeah.
that it was like a little box.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's where everybody went on Sunday.
Okay.
And so that's where the only other person he could see that spoke Spanish.
Really?
Yeah, he would love going there. And it was two Hollywood producers that owned that ranch. And they would come pick him up on Sunday and have him go get his groceries.
Yeah.
And he would like conversate. It was his
Just hang out.
Yeah.
That's
Because he was
awesome.
on Refugio Road down by the river,
Yep.
where Sunstone is, and just, work.
See, when you bring up, or like, that era of your dad being here, right? Because we came here in the late 90s, but that era, like, from the 90s earlier, right?
Your sweater vest.
What's
When you wore your sweater vest.
sweater vest?
Yes.
What, I have a sweater vest?
You had a sweater vest.
I did. Did I really? Okay, let's say yes. Sure. I'm stylish. When people were talking about, they remembered driving the pass to, say, from San Ynez or whatever to Santa Barbara. And they go, you wouldn't pass one other car going the opposite direction the whole drive.
Right.
It was really, like, when you were just talking about your dad being isolated, and it's a quarter mile, if you will, or a mile from El Rancho, but feeling so isolated and so quiet. And that era of the San Ynez Valley was exactly that. It was the edge of the world, right? Like, in, like, where I grew up, like, they would talk about Rancho Cucamonga on Bugs Bunny, and it was like the end of the world. Like, nobody, like, why would you ever go there? It's the end of the world. Where the San Ynez Valley, for, let's say, Southern California, coming up and over that hill was like a big deal. It was like nobody was doing that. Nobody was cutting through. It wasn't the, we didn't need stop signs or roundabouts or anything. There was just nobody here.
Right.
And if you think in the last, let's say, 30 years, how the explosive growth of people in the San Ynez Valley in particular, we have an Albertsons now. We have all that creature comforts that everybody else has in the world. And we have high-speed internet. Because when I moved here, the joke was we had water and electricity. And we lived in a barn with a potbelly stove for heat. And in the last 30 years or 20 years of living here, 25, we get Amazon and we have high-speed internet. And it's just like living on the other side of the hill, but we live on this side and we got that too. People are always surprised. Do you guys have free internet or do you have Wi-Fi? I'm like, yeah, we got electricity too, Well,
that question is really not too far off because when I lived in Los Alamos,
yeah,
we bought our first house in Los Alamos in 2008.
That was quiet.
Very quiet. And
it was Clark. Clark was it. I mean, Clark and Charlie's was like the only two places to and Quackenbush.
The what was it called? The White.
Oh yes,
White Oak.
White Oak.
Yeah,
dude, I haven't thought about that place in years.
That place was good too.
Ghost Riders was like a biker bar.
Oh, that was the best.
That place
where Bob's Wellbread was.
Yes, and that was like a real biker bar.
That was great.
Like you would go there and be like,
oh yeah,
this is on.
Oh yeah, and the Union Hotel was great. But anyways, talking about internet, I remember we moved there, and we had to put in a request to Verizon.
Yeah.
To get internet.
Yeah.
And then you could only get internet if somebody else
wanted it too.
No, if somebody else was getting rid of their internet.
What?
They had only so many allocations at the time.
Really?
Oh, it was wild.
Oh, I thought I was hot because I faked that everybody in my neighborhood wanted Verizon, and me and the guy pulled the wire underneath the freeway.
Oh.
To get high-speed internet to the far side of 154. I thought that was a big deal. But someone had to die for you to get the internet.
Not die, but basically, get rid of their internet. And Los Olivos is still pretty.
Yeah.
I mean, they're building some homes there, some new homes.
Yeah, but Los Olivos. My whole thing with Los Olivos, this is side. They're talking about the sewer. And I personally am not for the sewer, right? Because I don't think we need to spend $60 million for 350 lots,
right?
Which is a crazy number. Mm-hmm. And
well, there's only one reason they're doing it.
Well, yeah, I agree. I think they really want to run this is an editorial. This is not anything else but that. But it's like, yeah, running a pipe down the middle of Alamo and Potato is going to, and you as a realtor understand this. It's going to change the everything that touches Alamo Pintado, because if you drive from Alamo Pintado, I made a video about this, got 40,000 views. It like kind of semi ruined my life for 2 weeks. But when you look at it, that's the last flat piece of ground in the San Ynez Valley that is within the triangle of trust, which the triangle of trust I always say is like Buellton to Solvang to San Ynez, and then up the 101, up the 154 to Los Olivos. That's the triangle. Mm-hmm. And right now, all of those properties on both sides, and I know they're saying, no, we're never going to let them in. We're never going to, but never is not really a word, when it comes to development. It's a waiting game, and it's just how long are you going to pound on that wall? And then all of a sudden there's going to be a hole, right? And back to Los Olivos, like I always think of Los Olivos being on septic as a feature and not a flaw. Right. Because if there was a sewer, there would be a lot of 4-story buildings in Los Olivos, right? There'd be a lot more infrastructure. There'd be a lot, like we own the last open lot in Los Olivos, and our goal is to keep it an open lot for a long time. Because if we didn't buy it, it was going to become a Shell station, like a full-blown gas station. We're like, no, that's not really it. And when you have a town of 1,000 people, I think that's like the perfect amount in Los Olivos, just me personally, because one day, even with all the influx of people coming in on weekends, which really pay for everything, because there's 4 world-class restaurants in Los Olivos, which is awesome. And the reason everybody's house is worth what it's worth is because of that downtown area. Mm-hmm. And long story short, someday, like I always just kind of cringe when I think about it, is like if I go to Avenue of the Flags, just last week they like repaved it and then repainted it, and now it's like I almost have a seizure like looking at the road because I don't know where I'm supposed to go, because there's so many lines painted everywhere. Right. And I'm just worried one day if there was 2,000 people in Los Olivos, somebody's going to hit the flagpole, and the flagpole's gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's one of those things where they're like, why is this even here? We need to get this out of here.
Right.
And I love that flagpole. Just like I love the one in Los Alamos. I love the one in Ballard at the cemetery. I love the one in Solvang. And then the fifth one, not a lot of people know this, is in Guadalupe. It's like those are the 5 flagpoles that look like that.
Right.
And I don't want to see it go away. I think quaint and quiet and special is why people get in their car and drive 150 miles to see a place that actually still exists, that is almost untouched by time, by infrastructure, by, I don't know, even like McDonald's, right? It's like McDonald's used to have a plastic roof and a play area, and now it's just this like drab, flat, boring, industrialized, corporatized thing.
Right.
And then I just don't want to see that happen to Los Olivos. That's just a personal side note, but it is still pretty quiet. I mean,
I have the best memories of Los Olivos, like the gas station. I think the Saarloos owned it.
Yep.
And it broke my heart when it closed.
Did you know that was the longest running gas station in California?
I didn't know that.
That's the longest running, because it was like one of the first ones. And it was in operation for, I think, the longest amount of time. I'm sure something probably has beaten it by now or something, but that gas station, that was the whole point.
Well, when hunters used to hunt deer at Figueroa, they would come and weigh them and take pictures in that garage.
Yes.
And I was a little kid. Like I said, I didn't speak English, but my dad would go to the dump, and the dump was at the same place.
Dump is still awesome.
And we'd go there to get gas, and he'd probably buy a pack of smokes or whatever.
Yeah.
And we'd go there.
The original Marlboro
And I would
Man.
jump out of the truck, and I'd go look in the garage and be like, or, they had like the liquor store, where you pay the register, and there'd be like a picture of somebody holding the buck that they killed and whatnot. So, and then there's like the
Los Olivos is wild.
And it had a.
Did you go to the market? Because Mark Herthel talks about it, and you're roughly the same age.
Where the Montero Farms is?
Yes.
Oh yeah. They had the best Coca-Cola because it was so cold in the walk-in freezer.
The walk-in freezer. Still awesome.
It was. I remember one time, I don't know what happened.
Oh, let's tell everybody where that is. So that's that big, huge field on Grand Avenue.
Right.
If you're driving from Los Olivos to Solvang, it's on your right-hand side. It's, they're growing alfalfa.
Also,
beautiful.
where Lenny and George got dropped off in the movie Mice and Men.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
They got dropped off right there. More stuff is, I think it's Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. They get off a train in Los Olivos, and they're like, where are we? Like, it was like the edge of the world.
Right.
But right behind the Montanero, that liquor store, was the original like meat locker / slaughterhouse for the entire valley.
Right.
And it's like, what? Right there? And you're like, yep, still right there.
Still right there.
Still right there.
Yeah. It's
what a special place.
It is. The whole valley is. The other one that, where Baker's Table is.
Yeah.
That was a great liquor store.
That was the Santa Cota Market.
Santa Cota Market.
Yeah. That was 2 doors down from the Roasted Bean.
Right.
Our coffee shop.
Yeah, your old coffee shop. And, the valley's got a lot of the cool little things everywhere, a lot of history. And, it's just that things are going to change. We don't want them to change. Mm-hmm. And I think Los Olivos should definitely be left alone. And
the snow globe needs to remain under glass.
Yeah, yeah. And it's a special place.
I love it.
Yeah. And, we're very fortunate, you and I, to be able to raise our kids here.
Speaking of that, your son on the football team this year.
Yes.
Absolutely. Kicker. Did he? What other records did he have this year?
He had the record he has a record career field goals. So he he could have tied the longest field goal, but he missed it. It was the last game of the season. Yeah. But he did really well.
He's a great kid.
Yeah, and he's a great kid. And
great wife, great family, man.
Yeah, my wife's the vice principal at the high school. She doesn't have the same last name as me, so you probably don't know who she is. But it's Kelly.
Hey, listen, she made the right decision.
Yeah, so we got 4 great kids. So that, Diego's not my only child, but I have Diego, Mia, Kira, and Selma, and they're all great kids. And this is a great valley and great teachers, and we have great people here and a lot of great programs.
Well, let's just be honest. That's why people want to live here.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody says it's because of the beauty. Everybody says it's because they want to kind of be out in the country or anything like that. But the valley, like your father, a great example. You can get very, very lonely in this valley if you don't plug in. Right. You can move here and nobody knows who you are, and you're kind of a persona non grata, right? You're like a ghost of the valley. But then there's other people who like come here and move in and they go, I love this place. I want to make it better, not change it,
right,
but I want to enhance what it is and fight for it because I came here for a specific reason.
Right.
And I always go in my mind, like Maddie's Bar, right? When the brothers had it. And even before that, there's a lot of people that just moved to this valley because they came up here, sat in that restaurant, and somebody was kind to them.
Right.
Where if they lived in anywhere else in Los Angeles, you're just a customer and nobody really cares.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of great people that have been here, like Dr. Howe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dr. Howe was my pediatrician.
Yeah.
And my kids'
pediatrician.
Yes. And I remember it vividly, man. He was over here.
Yep. Right in the building. Yep.
Back where there used to be a Mexican restaurant called Manny's. I think it's Whiskey and Rye now.
Yeah, it's great.
And
Cash's favorite restaurant in the valley.
Oh,
he loves that place.
Yeah, and so it was there, and then he opened up a practice on Maple Street.
Okay.
And he lived there, and he had an office there. And I remember we went there, and then he finally went over here, I think, to where the old carousel was.
Mm-hmm.
Did you live here when?
Yeah, when the carousel was here.
And the outlet malls.
Yep,
that was like the greatest thing.
That was
like Nautica.
Look at this new stuff.
Man, I can go get myself a new shirt. And that's one of the things that's kind of missing is things for kids to do here in the valley.
I agree.
Which but at the same time,
pour them into a sport.
Yeah, pour them into a sport. So
I think we're possibly living in the very best time ever to live in the San Ynez Valley because. Like, especially you and I with kids, it's like Cash or my daughter, they didn't grow up in a place that was like a sheltered bubble, right? Our kids grew up in a place where it is very diverse. There's tons of different kids from all different walks of life. They all go to the same high school. They all hang out together. And it's like, what sport are you in? Or what after school activity are you involved in?
Right.
Because if you're involved in an afternoon activity like football or water polo or soccer or basketball or whatever, you are plugged in. And I went to a school in Southern California where, thousands of people would show up for a football game. And it was great. It was like, oh, I'm really part of something here. And I always love going to, even though I don't have a kid that plays football, right? I go to the football games because there's going to be a couple thousand people there. You're going to see people. You're going to be seen. You're going to hang out. You're going to have a good time. You're going to cheer for the home team. And it's like there is still a lot of like local valley pride. But now there's some pretty good places to go eat. And there's some great places to like go shop. And there's great you still go over to the tire shop and they know your name and they'll take care of you and get you in and out real quick. Because if you're on a hustle, they're like, you blew a tire or you got a nail in it. And they're like, yeah, we'll take care of it right now for you. Yeah. And it's like, perfect level of fame. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I remember Steve Will and Tire when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, there was a guy named Louie that worked there. You'll catch him at the Longhorn. But Louie had this Ford Courier, and my dad had a Chevy Love. And I remember like going in there and I saw
Chevy Love.
Yeah. I saw this little dude in there, and he was, he didn't get to work in the shop.
Yeah.
He was working on the side. Outside, and he would jack your car up, change your tires.
Yeah.
He spoke Spanish. And I'm like, whoa, this, because it was, there wasn't that many, Hispanic, Mexican families here in the valley. Oh, yeah. And, it was just odd to see somebody else, you know, and this valley, it's grown so much. And I'm, going back to the sports, it didn't matter who you were, and it still doesn't. So I take a lot of pride in that. You might get, some people here and there that aren't very nice, but it's okay. You're going to have that 10%, and but the valley is the greatest place I've ever lived. Like, going
100%.
back, circling back to my story.
Yep.
I lived all over the world, and I've never been to a place like this.
It's the greatest. It is without a doubt one of the best, not only beautiful, friendly people, what you put out in this valley is what you get back.
Right.
you know, if you move to the valley and it's someone brand new, and it's like, I always think every realtor should have a little handbook that they hand somebody.
I am
the
like, handbook.
You are the handbook. Yeah. Okay, listen, this is who you call.
Yeah.
You know, don't call this person, call this person, call this person.
But that's the thing that makes it even more special, because there's so many professionals here in the valley. Yeah, we're not LA, we're not San Diego.
Doesn't really want to be. Not LA, but not the Bay.
We have the best of the best. Like, if you want to learn how to shoot, you could find somebody that could shoot. Yeah. Really good. If you want to find a water polo player, there's guys that are in the Olympics.
Yep.
You want to be a basketball player.
Volleyball.
You want to
ride a horse.
You want to ride a horse.
Polo. Yeah.
We got the best polo player in the world here.
Yeah. Yeah. And everybody's like, "Hey, how's it going, man?"
Yeah.
The guy would be mobbed in any other country in the world, and here everybody's like, "What do you do?"
Yeah. It's like when I went to high school.
Yeah.
Cheryl Ladd's daughter was at our school.
Yeah.
You know, Bill Geiberger's dad was here, or kid was here. Jimmy Connor's son was here.
Reagan lived right up on top of the hill.
Yeah, like it's
crazy.
You know, it was just like, oh, Michael Jackson lived here. Let's not get that twisted.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Down the street.
Down the street.
Yep. And he would drive in when it was our country market, right? All the Palmers and everybody. He would drive down from his place by himself, wearing a Spider-Man mask and an AMC Pacer, and go into the store, buy a bunch of like drinks and whatever, you know, and thinking nobody knew who he was. And I think it was Steve Donnell when he was still alive. Goes, "Hey, Mike, how's it going?" And he's like, "Oh, you know, like, how did you know?" Kind of a thing. And you're like, dude, everybody knows.
Everybody knows. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. I mean, there's been so many great people too that have come out of here, and it's just from humble beginnings, you know. Like, you know, John Cody just passed away.
That's a huge
that guy was a monster. You know, I mean, he was
I need to get
a giant.
I need to get his daughter in here and talk about him.
But I went to school with his son, Quinn Cody, and we were best friends. Our moms worked together at Buttonwood, and he's Mr. KTM.
Mr. KTM. No. If you watch From Dust to Glory, no, that was Andy Grider.
Andy Grider, yeah.
But okay, just like that, we'll talk about motorsports.
Just Andy Grider.
No,
yeah,
right. We'll
he's
talk
a legend,
about motorsports in this valley, in general. Which, dude, this is gonna be 3 episodes. No, but if you talk about motorsports in this valley, it is unreal. Like, guys who are right now, I saw them all leaving. All the guys that are going down and doing Baja 1000, like, saw the caravan of trucks that were leaving that still ride Baja. If you go to the Mendenhall Museum, which is a whole other conversation, they hold all of the records for like the salt flats, like the speed records.
Right? Isn't Mr. Gardner one of them?
Yes.
Slick.
Yeah. All these, they have all of the like. That's the official record keeping location is in Buellton, right? Which is bonkers. You have Cody, you have in motorcycles, you know, you have Hart who lives here, Mr. Backflick, right? You have the Codys who are all in their own right, just unreal.
Yeah,
you got Andy Grider, you know, with the boat with the car on the back of it, and you're just like, when he was in From Dust to Glory, they're like, oh, you know, here's Andy Grider, and he went from like 4th place to 1st by just pinning it and going, and it's like, well, where did that kid learn that?
Right.
And like the Codys would ride dirt bikes from the middle of nowhere, where their dad homesteaded, and that's a whole other conversation.
But Anna
was a monster.
She was the trailblazer.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane.
I remember I came back in 2005. It might have been even earlier, but I think it was 2005.
Yeah.
And I went to the gym. You know, Rosenberry was the gym at the time. And I saw Quinn. And he goes, "I'm going to win the Baja 1000." I'm like, yeah, right, dude. He was building ponds at the time.
Yes.
So that will show you.
Bobby Laughlin. Do you know Laughlin Electric?
Yeah.
Okay, so Bobby has done the Baja 1000 solo, not changing bikes, not anything. His wife would drive the van where he would like gas up. We were talking about, we were down in Mexico building homes for needy people. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I've been in Baja a bunch." And I'm like, "Really?" He's like, "Oh, I've done the Baja 1000 solo like 4 times." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? Are you serious?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'd ride, and then I knew where the Pemex place was, and I'd whip off and I'd fill up my tank and then get back on the trail and keep going." And I go, "You've done the Baja solo?" He's like, "Yeah, a couple times." And I'm like, "And you're an electrician?" And he goes, "Yeah." And you're like, what?
Yeah.
It's like the people that this place can build
Right.
are absolute
Musicians.
monster
Yeah.
musicians. That's a crazy list, right? Like David Crosby, like was down the street. Hey,
Yeah.
Dave, how's it going?
Yeah, I went to his house
pretty
when I was in
good.
high school to deliver drugs for Roger's Pharmacy. You know,
Really?
like, yeah. Yeah.
I have a great David Crosby story that I'll tell you later.
He
but
tipped me with a CD, and I wasn't like,
You weren't
wasn't
into
my
it?
music at the time.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was Sublime at the time, and like
Yeah.
NWA and all that stuff. So
I just remember sitting out in front of the coffee shop roasted bean with David Crosby, and he got a phone call, and he goes, "I got to take this." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." And he started talking, and he's like, "Yeah, man, you know this and that," and hung up, and he's like, "I was Neil." I'm like, "Who?" He's like, "Neil Young." I'm like, "Oh, Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. That's right." You know, and it's like, dude, that's insane.
that's where we live.
That's where we live. Well, everybody, this has been Keith Saarloos and Efran. How's it going, Efran? Efran, how can people get a hold of you? They want to sell a house. They want to buy a house. How did they get a hold of you? What's the best way?
Just call me, 805-598-4140.
And if you want the best realtor in the valley, call Efran. If he says he'll do it, he's going to get it done.
Yeah.
He will also cut any explosive devices that you might find on the side of the road. He's also the guy in the valley to call.
Yeah, if you have any questions about energetics, I'd be more than happy to find you the answer or find you somebody that does.
By the way, energetics.
Yeah.
That's the word?
That's the word.
I love that word. Let's take the scariest thing possible and make it seem not scary.
Well, that's how
Energetics.
you're supposed to talk. you know?
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. So this has been Chopping It Up with Keith Saarloos. Possibly the end of episode 1 that's gone an hour, or maybe it's episode 2. I don't know. But we are the #1 talk radio show on Crazy Country at
Yes,
10
you
a.m.
are.
on Saturday mornings, just so you know. I mean, it's kind of a big deal. Nobody's given us an award, but
Yeah.
one day. But thanks for joining us. Back to your regularly scheduled programming on Crazy Country 105.9.